You know, there's a time when that whole shit happened with Un. I was in the club. Preem was in the club. He come in. He tuck his chain. I run over to him. What's up? We got a problem in here. Let's get. I'm like, we in here crazy. Like, what's good? He's like, nah, it ain't that. So I didn't know what it was. So I leave him alone. I back up, but I'm watching the nigga. And that nigga, all of a sudden, the fights break out, and I see his Rockefeller niggas fucking up Un brother. In my mind, I'm sitting there like, how come Un leaned up on the walls, not doing nothing? And Jay ended up right in front of the nigga. When I first seen it, I thought he punched him. Hit him in the chest though, the nigga fall. I'm like, God damn, Jay packing the punch, boy. I swear my kids, this is what I'm seeing in my head. And I run over there and I see the nigga got that thing in his hand. I grab that shit and I get him and throw him in my car with my driver, get rid of that shit, and I go back in and party.
What's good? My name is Chris Gotti. It's Trappin Anonymous. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you everybody that's been supporting the movement. I'm so ready for this episode. I wish I could say I was waiting for a minute, but actually some people pushed the right buttons and we made some great things happen. So, you know, I can't even express how grateful I am for this opportunity to sit down with a legend. So I'm not gonna hold you guys up too much. Do remember that the stories that you hear do not necessarily reflect real life. They're here to entertain, educate, or just keep your little homie off the streets.
Nah, this is real.
Oh, this shit real? My name is Chris Gotti. It's Trappin Anonymous. Let's get it.
Yeah,
Chris,
Chris,
bro.
Man. Pleasure, man.
All right, man. Chris, man.
I appreciate it. Easy to remember everything. That's it. I want to shout out Kyle, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate for putting this, linking this up with us, man.
Yeah, Preem Jr., my brother. Appreciate you. If we could go back in time, and we're going to go to the height of your success, your personal success. We're going to go to where you could do no wrong. You was everybody's best friend. You was everybody's, constituent. Everybody knew you. They remembered you growing up.
I still am that. Yeah.
What was that day like? If you could bring yourself to that.
It was really like, how do you put it in words? It's like, it's a family of 8. I gotta always go there because that's the ground that we was built from, right? No money. We was from Brownsville first. People don't know that.
Shit.
Was living in Livonia.
You're not far from there right now.
I know. It's the old stomping grounds. And then we moved from there. Irv was a baby. We moved to Hollis. You know what I'm saying? So I'm young too. So, but that's the upbringing where we come from, right? My mom and dad, all they had was love. That's it. They fucked with each other and they raised 8 kids, no bread. So we had love. Like we had each other, the family, big family. You got someone to play with, whatever. It wasn't fighting. I never looked at Irv different. And when you bring up what was it like, I can't really put the real words to it except for amazing, like unbelievable. Like, how did we get here? Like, it was all of those feelings all in one when you actually arrive in that space, in that moment in time where you really are at the pinnacle of everything. It was, when I say that too, so the audience understands what that is, anything you wanted, you got it. It was really that simple. You just had to tell someone to get it. And it was there. It was just like that, no exaggeration. See, Irv wasn't an artist in the sense of he rapped. Irv was the nigga that created the star. So the level of credibility is different inside of a executive standpoint.
Because I remember when you was just somebody on the street. I remember when he was just flipping burgers or whatever.
Yeah, man, I did everything, man. Me personally, Irv's journey is different, and, I could only speak on the things I assisted with for him, which is a lot. Because we didn't have them, but I was fortunate at a young age to start figuring out how to get some money and shit like that, and I just would help him, I told everyone, Irv doesn't even know this. And again, the dynamic is it's my little brother. I know a lot of older brothers would always talk about how they beat their little brother up. I never did that. I never touched Irv. and put that fear in him. It was me and him together. I would let him watch. Sit down, nigga. I'm gonna go get these two niggas and go fuck two niggas up and make him watch. When he got older, he started wanting to get more active, but I didn't want him to. And I didn't want him to know all the things I was doing from an older brother, standpoint.
So you would say you was the muscle?
I hate saying that. I'm not the muscle. I'm not afraid of nothing, though. God and my mom. So I was afraid of my mom. She was the disciplinary in the family. And I didn't want to let her down. Like, so even though I was doing dumb shit, but you young and dumb.
What was the first time your little brother Irv came to you and was just like, yo, man, I got this idea, like, and it, not so much the first time he said it, but the first time you believed him?
I'm a person that, like, for my brother, he couldn't do anything he wanted to do, he could do it. And I just seen that in him, whether he did it or not. There was a point he was playing basketball. I was his biggest cheerleader, like, nigga, you can make it to the league. He was nice. BJ Carter, I'm gonna shout out BJ Carter. BJ Carter played for Hillcrest High School. Irv played for Van Buren. He plays BJ Carter. BJ don't know this. BJ Carter don't know this, but he's the reason Irv quit.
He was that nice?
No, he was that fast.
Okay.
He was nice, but he was that fast. And Irv was basically like, if I can't keep up with him, how can I make it to the league? So BJ, you killed that hoop dream, boy. That's a fact. Irv played against, like, shout out Lloyd Daniels and all of like, he played against some of the best. And Lloyd Sweepy was a monster. Don't get it fucked up. But Lloyd, Irv looked at as different because he's a 6'9" point guard or 6'7" point guard that was like a Magic Johnson. So he's a rarity, but Irv was looking at him like, oh, I can't compete like that from him, but he couldn't compete with Sweepy. But I'm just saying, that's not who killed his dream. It was BJ Carter, the speed.
So you guys said, you know what, we're gonna start a production company.
Now, I don't want to say you guys. Irv, again, we was together. I was managing Irv, and I'm gonna keep it 100. As I said, this is. Get the Bible, I put my hand on it. This is real shit. And Irv, anything I did, Irv did. Big brother, little brother shit.
That's how it is.
I play ball, Irv played ball. I play football, Irv played football. I DJ'd, Irv DJ'd. It's that simple. But when Irv DJ'd, that's when I seen, oh my God, like he was different.
In what way?
He was just different. He was nice. He had his rhythm, his blends. He started making blend tapes early on, and those blend tapes, everybody in Queens, Brooklyn, they was coming to get it. They lined up around the block at the house to come get his tape when it was finished. He's serving niggas just like it's dope. And niggas was getting the tape, and he made blends. Whenever I think of that, I'll think of Ashanti, because that's what Irv was doing back there. He was doing blends. He was taking acapellas of all of the hottest R&B songs and blending it with the hardest hip hop tracks.
That joint is big now.
That's what it is.
TikTok and all that stuff got.
That's what it is. But Irv did that back then, and that's what made him different. And then not only was that, he was a battle DJ. So I took Irv around battling. He was 15, 16 years old, like killing everybody. Irv DJ'd in Club Nels, which was one of the hottest clubs in New York at the time, 16 years old. He's the DJ. Like, he couldn't even get in there because he's underage. Like, but I got him in there, he's DJing. And that's what made me see a side of Irv that was super talented, like he could do this shit.
Right.
And that's really what made me push it, That's what made me say, man, what I got to do to get this right? And I just took the chance.
When's the production company come into play?
The production comes in down the road. Now we go from DJing to finding a guy named Mike Geronimo. I'm giving you kind of the quick Mike G. You know what I'm saying? And Mike G, he found at a talent show, Bayside High School, which is my old school. I played football at Bayside, so he found Mike Geronimo at Bayside High School, and then asked him, you ever thought about making a record? This is all Irv. See, I'm not there. Irv doing that. And he asked him to make a record, and he made the record. Now, mind you, what Irv would call me for maybe would be studio costs You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I wasn't, again, I'm out doing my 1-2 in a different way, but getting money and whatever to get it
Yep.
to them and help them, buying records, buying different turntable shit. And he just, I can never try and take away the credit of his drive, which was put into him. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting too? When you have these brothers, you usually have oftentimes these sibling rivalries. You have the jealousy, you have the hate, you have the, nah, you could be big, but you can't be bigger than me. But when I hear you talk about your brother, it's with such reverence and respect, and also realizing that the whole time throughout his life, instead of being somebody that you was competing with,
right?
It's just so much you would. I give you the shirt off my back. I'm gonna help facilitate you.
That's the part that he doesn't know. I would give him my last. He didn't know it's my last. You know what I'm saying? I would lend him my car at a BMW. You know, I had all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is what got me in trouble at the house with my mother. She was like, "How you have all this stuff? You ain't working, this and that." And again, I never sold drugs, but I did different things with my niggas. They come and get me, and we go pull off a caper or two. You know what I'm saying?
What's that?
What kind of capers? You know, again, I'll give you the first thing was the turntables that we got. So a female, me and my man Nick. Nick was one of my best friends right around the block. Now, he wasn't no jack boy. He wasn't on that time. He was a mechanic. He would steal cars and shit like that. And he called me up, and the girl had gave him a line on the house that she knew they're supposed to have like $200,000 in cash. We talking about back then.
That's like $1 million, right?
What? That's like $2 million, $3 million, like about $10 million. But you know, back then, I'm like, let's go get it. And he was like, let's do it. So we go to the house, we go in, and you know, no money.
Yeah. But we had
no real money.
Had some
Few
turntables
dollars.
though.
It had equipment, and I was like, I'm not leaving with nothing. And
Something.
that's the beginning of DJ Irv. See, you know, we was talking off here about karma and shit like that, but God blessed us with that day.
Wow.
It's deep.
So something negative.
Something negative turned to a positive. That's why I feel indebted to help too, because something negative turned to a positive. Irv probably is gonna hear about this just now.
Yeah.
I never told the story because I never wanted my little brother to follow my footsteps. So if I did some dumb shit, I didn't want him to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it with my niggas. And all my niggas, it's funny when you mention about bigger brother, little brother. Back then it was, oh, that's Chris brother. But now that's Irv brother. Wow. And see, for me, that's like a badge of honor, see, because I built that, I made that. Wow. You understand what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So I don't look at it in a negative light, but back then, I'm sure he felt maybe a way. I don't know. I never asked him.
Right.
Because it was always, yo, that's Chris brother. And they made sure they took care of the nigga and made sure he was good. Now, after all the success, oh, that's Irv brother.
So he gets the success early on. You guys are producing for
Mike G.
Yep. And all of these different names. You guys are getting your name up. Who were some of the people that y'all was producing for?
Well, when he first started with Mike G, you know, the person that he dealt with was, I believe his main source to do Large Professor. That's who taught him how to make beats. Help him program and shit. But, you know, from a DMX to a Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? All of those was people he was dealing with. You know, Roy Flush, but Mike G. Then there was Ja Rule, Cash Money Click, which he was in a group. And I mean, it was just kind of crazy. That energy at that time. And I watch it and I see energy with these young boys today. I just feel they miss a step or something. They just don't follow through. Irv's follow through game is crazy. You know, it's probably even stronger than me. And my shit is strong. So his shit is crazy. Irv's focus is different. In the years, you identify things that's just different. Why is it different? Because it is. You get a bandwidth of people that we meet in our lives, right? And deal with, and you see it's different. You know, when I meet Jay, you see it's different. He's not like us. As crazy as it sounds, the way he moves, acts, thinks is different.
You mean
and it's the same with Irv.
The first time you meet somebody like Jay, Was it like that?
For them, yes. DMX, different. Ja Rule, different.
How?
It's only through a test of time you understand this.
Oh, okay.
In the moment, you see they're different, but you don't see the real true genius of who they are.
Got you.
Time proves it out.
Yeah.
Time proves out for everybody, no matter what. You want to be the best of what you're doing here. Time is going to do it.
Absolutely.
You already have a knack for it. I seen that firsthand. So now how do you develop it and take it to another level is all because of your genius. You understand? And that's what puts you or separates you from the pack.
So when you sit back sometimes and you like, yo, I remember these cats when they was, 20 something years old.
Yeah.
I remember these dudes when they was, sort of what kind of perspective does it give you, in a sense, when you see these guys and all they've accomplished and all the things that they've done, what kind of perspective do you sit back from?
What did Kevin Garnett say when he won the championship? When he grabbed that ball?
Nothing's impossible.
Say that. They from us. They are you. They are me. And when I say they different, it's just their thinking. How did they develop it? I don't know. How did they get there? I don't know. It doesn't mean you can't figure it out for yourself or I can't figure it for myself or anyone else. I feel I'm different. That's a fact. So it's like, but I didn't maybe accomplish what, let's say, Jay-Z or Irv did. They're in front of me, but I still feel I'm that different and special.
So when y'all get your clout up, people starting to know who y'all are. Y'all are very respected in the industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all are running around with guys like Jay, DMX, Ja Rule.
Yeah. Just think of that era right there, them three names.
I can't even saying it casually sounds crazy.
No, you know why I love about it? Because honestly, Irv single-handedly with those artists saved East Coast rap. And people don't understand that. And no disrespect to Puff. No disrespect to Puff. He's different. He's one of them. He's special. But at one point in time, West Coast was smashing the East Coast. And Irv was like, what the fuck? I give so much credit to people that say they could identify something and then change it and make it happen. You understand what I'm saying? That's different.
No disrespect to Puff, but...
Yeah, he's different. And what I mean is, he's East Coast rap, so that's why I said no disrespect, because yeah, big. But there was a moment, he's the only thing moving on the East Coast. No one else. And it's all West Coast shit. And Irv was like, how the fuck? I remember it like yesterday. See, we could watch the one thing together and you'll have your memory and I have mine. Okay. That's why I try to understand. That's why they started saying that's your truth. I remember this shit like yesterday. It's scarred like in my brain. These certain memories that I have that is like, just like I'm looking at you now, is just like that. This is one. Irv barking on Leo. How's fucking Death Row, and he's not shitting on them. He's saying, but how is Death Row, Jimmy Iovine kicking our asses? How is it Arista Records with Puffy, okay, which is not a hip hop label, fucking up Def Jam in hip hop? You understand what I mean? That was the mindset. That was Irv's fucking like looking at niggas like, how is that happening if we're hip hop?
New York.
And then he was in New York at that. It was personal. And again, with Jay, DMX, Ja Rule.
You bring them to Leo.
We took that not just bring them to him, but we took back East Coast. That became the sound of hip hop. You feel me? That's what happened. It's not me. This isn't my, this is what happened.
Hell yeah.
This isn't my opinion. Nah, this is what happened. And say what you want, Irv is behind that.
What was DMX energy like back then?
The dog was one of one, man. God bless the dead, man. He's one of one. One of one. I remember when Irv introduces me to him and everything, and I'm just watching. I'm an observer. You know, the reason I learned how to move in rooms. I never would talk much. Me figuring out how to do this right here, that took a lot of work to get to this point for me. Because I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to talk to niggas, nothing. That's why the industry was very difficult. I told Irv he had me trying to do radio in the beginning, and dealing with radio people was too bullshit.
Yeah, it's
They
politics.
fake.
It's politics.
And I'm not with politics. When I hear politics, it's fake.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not with that shit. So I couldn't do it. And I was like, how are you doing? I don't get it. I don't know how you could fucking do it. He had a way of doing it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But really, it was, DMX was raw.
Oh.
I go see him. And Irv's relationship is different than mine.
Right.
I would pull up on X on 125th Street, see him before the deals. This nigga was outside for real. I come throw him in my car, pick him up, give him a few dollars. This is my relationship with DMX, you know what I'm saying? Give him a couple dollars, take him something to eat, because he nigga look like he hungry.
Word.
On some real shit. And if anyone know him, they know that's real. But I pick him up, bring him to Yonkers and see where he's at, and like, this nigga, man.
He was really
Nah, he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when Irv first played that music, Another Day. He used to ask me, what do I think? And what he's talking about is dark. Because he was, you know, that's his real name, is Dark Man.
Dark Man
DMX
X.
was Dark Man X. So his shit was dark. And I'm like, this shit
translates though. You could hear it, you could feel it.
I know, but it's very
Scary.
It's easy to say now because it won. But when you let's say an artist is doing some shit now that's not being done.
You like, get this nigga out of here.
It's not even about getting it out of here. You like, is people gonna fuck with it? And I told Irv, I said, nigga, that shit is hard, but is niggas gonna fuck with it?
And I guess when you're hearing somebody like Jay for the first time, he had more like a
Style.
swagged out.
Swag. You know, Jay pulled up when I first, one of the early times, he's one of the early niggas I seen with TVs and the headrests. And
it was like
coming to, yeah, he was like that. GS 300, pulling up, system banging.
Before the deal.
You know, cables on, gold fronts, all of that. That's all real. That's no fake shit. Jay, that's how I met Jay. He's on December 4th, on July 4th. We used to always say we on our square, you know what I'm saying? And fuck with each other from that. Again, my relationship's different than Irv.
Right.
You know, I'm a protector. Jay's Irv's band. That means you my little bro.
Yeah.
And I protected him just like that. You know, there's a time when that whole shit happened with Un. I was in the club. Preem was in the club. He come in. He tuck his chain. I run over to him. What's up? We got a problem in here. Let's get. I'm like, we in here crazy. Like, what's good? He's like, nah, it ain't that. So I didn't know what it was, so I leave him alone. I back up, but I'm watching the nigga. And that nigga, all of a sudden, the fights break out, and I see his Rockefeller niggas fucking up Un brother. In my mind, I'm sitting there like, how come Un leaned up on the walls not doing nothing? And Jay ended up right in front of the nigga. When I first seen it, I thought he punched him. Hit him in the chest, though, the nigga fall. I'm like, God damn, Jay packing the punch, boy. I swear on my kids, this is what I'm seeing in my head. And I run over there and I see the nigga got that thing in his hand. I grab that shit and I get him and throw him in my car with my driver, get rid of that shit, and I go back in and party. You know, that night he calling crazy, get my number. He asking, Irv, where's Chris? Yo, I want to thank him. And when we speak, I'm like, Jay, what are you talking about? I said, that's what I'm supposed to do, nigga. Don't act like it's something special, nigga. And he was like, man, I appreciate it, thanking me. And that was in that. I never even spoke about that no more. Again, it's nothing to me. It was like, just, that's like my little bro. X was like my little bro. So when I'm going there, I'm thinking, because I know how close they are to Irv. And I know Irv would lay down for them. That's no bullshit. And I told Jay that one day. I said, you know, everyone has little beefs back and forth. And there was something that went down with Irv and Jay. And I remember talking to Tata, and Tata telling me, I fuck with you, but I ain't fuck with your brother. I said, then you can't fuck with me. Don't say that.
Straight like that.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, you know what I mean, Chris, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, but I grabbed Jay. And I said, you know Irv's your brother. You know that, right? I said, you know he'll lay down for you. Like, I'm telling you that because I know it. It's not a guess. Like, it's really like that. And Jay said, I know. He said, I know. I said, all right, well, then let's fix this shit and stop playing. And they did.
Yeah, I was wondering why Hov would still embrace Irv
After
everything.
there's nothing but real love. You can't front on it.
You know.
You can't front on the real love. And at the end of the day, they're not where they was in the sense of, like, Jay's a billionaire now. He got kids.
Yeah,
wife,
for sure.
thinking about how to make the next 10 billion. You know what I'm saying? Change the culture. And, you know, but Jay's always been there when Irv called for him. And Irv will always be there for Jay when he called, if he needed anything.
Wow.
Like, it's nothing. And whether any of the Rockefeller people understand that, whether, because Irv made some decisions that might have been like, why'd he do that, Jay? He ain't fucking with. Man, niggas fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, one of Irv's biggest mistakes with Jay was Nas. And, you know, I fuck with Nas. Irv fuck with Nas. But there's a time Nas was supposed to sign to Murder Inc. There's a record called The Pledge to prove it. It's out, video, everything. And The Pledge is him pledging allegiance to Murder Inc. And the reason that we put that record out is because Irv, before he did it, you know, Steve Stout was saying, sign Nas to Murder Inc. Why don't y'all bring him over there, this and that. He's a Queens nigga, let's do it. We all fucked with each other. But I was like, we got to talk to Jay, nigga. They beef. This is back when they was beefing. And I was like, yeah, I know, we got it. So we called Jay, go to Baseline Studios and Irv tell him, I ain't gonna tell you on air what I said, because I spoke first. But Irv say, you know, it's good business. We're gonna make a lot of money. And Jay looking at the nigga like, you my nigga, you wanna fuck with my enemy, like. And I'm looking at Irv like, what are you, crazy, nigga? Are you crazy? I promise you. I'm looking at Irv like, are you out of your mind? Like, nigga, and he's sitting there, but Irv is thinking only business.
Yeah.
And he said, y'all don't really got no real beef. And Jay said, you right. He said, and the Irv turned to me and said, I told you. He's like, I told you. I said, I'm looking at Irv like, he's just saying that, you know what I'm saying? Because
he's looking at the situation like, I see who you are. Yeah. I see how you're moving.
But that was like the biggest thing, man. You don't understand. That was so big.
You could understand why, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They got through that. But I'm just saying, that only way two people could get through that is real, genuine love for each other and respect.
And then it's like, too, me and the dude done pieced it up.
Yeah.
Me and Nas.
It's even deeper because, you know, I'm giving you a quick story. I ain't going all the way in because each thing that I'm talking about, there's a lot in it.
Right.
But right after that, what did Jay do? He went on tour with 50 Cent. He did his sneaker with 50 Cent. They doing commercials with 50 Cent. And he came back to Irv and said, it's good business.
No!
Said, he said, we should make a lot of money.
Yo, this nigga is
business.
cold.
Oh, Jay's cold. He said, it's good business. But that's when Irv realized how bad he fucked up. You understand? When he seen that, that's how much he realized, damn, I really fucked up with that Nas shit.
Okay. So, this 50 Cent thing.
Yeah.
How much do you attribute the downfall of Murder Inc. or Ja Rule to 50 Cent?
You know, I'd be ignorant to say it's no tribute to it. Of course, we was in a competitive competition. It's a blood sport. Hip hop is a blood sport. For all you fucking rappers out there, it's a blood sport. Go ahead and keep being friends with the nigga that's smashing you. You know what I'm saying? He's banging you out.
All this social media shit.
And again, I'm not against people being friends, but the competitive nature of the friendship was always there. Let's say with Ja, Jay, and they tried to kill each other. Jay and Big, listen to Brooklyn's Finest. They're going at each other in Brooklyn's Finest. If the people don't know, Jay is shitting on Big. Big is trying to shit back on Jay. It's competitive. They're boys. They're boys, this family, but this is the competitive nature of this sport. It's a blood sport.
Yeah.
So when you ask me, how much did it hurt? And the only reason I can't fully quantify that answer is because the feds was on me. So how do I say and attribute everything to this man? I'll say this. I'm a business guy, right? I ran the business. So here, Murder Inc., we're doing $240 million. Let's say Ja Rule was representing 90 million of that. Okay? Ashanti, Lloyd was the rest.
It's
and
got a
all the other
roster.
shit. Irv Gotti Presents was the rest of it. All of those type shits, right? So we take away Ja Rule to zero. We still a $150, nigga.
Yeah.
I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
So when people say that,
It's like
it's deeper than that, and they don't understand what really happened. And again, I tip my hat to his success. I tell everyone all the time, again, at the end of the day, we was the first ones to send Jimmy Iovine champagne and flowers when 50 did $1 million first week. Congratulations, unbelievable job. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy, thank you, man. I couldn't believe that we sent it and said that to him. It's like, nigga, it's business, nigga. It's real.
Yeah, I got one.
You got one. We wasn't, and then to keep it all the way 100, we was never worried about 50 till we heard dun dun in the club, nigga.
Yeah.
When that shit hit, we knew he had a record
Yeah.
that is gonna play
Everywhere.
every fucking where. And when that happened, again, I never seen a artist get flipped on like Ja Rule.
By the
By
fans.
the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, this nigga was the #1 artist,
Let's
period.
be real.
Keep it all the way 100.
Yeah.
And just because the artist came out with a record and said some shit, I mean, the flip was unbelievable. I lived it. I walked through that fire.
You saw the change.
Man, I was probably sued more than anybody in the hip hop game.
Why?
Why? Because I touched niggas. Niggas tried you. Again, it was crazy. And Irv would tell me, stop going out. I'm like, I can't. Because honestly, if I'm going to talk 100% honest, it's like, if I didn't go out, I don't think you would want my interview. I don't think you would even know I wouldn't be anywhere near what I am. Because that's how big of a pendulum swing it was. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem. So I was going out and I'm keeping us relevant in the street, whatever, all of that and above. And I went out with my niggas, and again, I would give niggas the pass because I do understand they're fans. You're not part of them niggas.
You never worried about Ja Rule. He's a good dude. He wrote these pop records.
Never, like I never worry about Ja Rule from a creative standpoint.
Yeah.
He's one of the most creative people I ever met.
Right.
He never gets credit for being one of the best artists in the game.
Right.
And the saddest part is his career was shortened. So when you ask that question with 50, he's definitely part of the reason his career was shortened. But I have to put a stipulation in it because
Facts.
let's say Ja could have had the best record in the world to come back with, and Universal wasn't fucking with Murder Inc., so he never could get it out. Do you understand that?
I do understand
So
that.
that's the problem. Like, it's not a fair fight. Meaning, Universal owns 50, right? He's on Interscope, which is Universal. We're on Def Jam, or at the time Motown 50, or whatever. Either one of them. No, we was still Def Jam. Sorry, IDJ. And that's the problem. It's all under Universal. So when 50's Rise comes up, it's business. You got to remember these executives. These crackers is only worried about their money.
We were just talking about that shit.
Okay, so it's business. We're doing X amount of money. Here comes a new entity. If this one disappears, it just transfers over there, just like that.
It's just energy, and it's crazy. I remember you was talking.
And that's how they lived and breathed, and that's how they move with us. It's crazy because that's how they move with us, and they cooperated with the government against us. So imagine our machine that we use to put out music is
y'all
not
came
there.
back, y'all had Lloyd, and then
Yeah.
y'all got beat out by Music Soul Child.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Which
That's
doesn't,
Leo.
which obviously doesn't make sense.
That's Leo.
Of course.
Yeah, he was over there, and we was with at the time Sylvia Rone. And there's ways to manipulate numbers in hip hop or in music, period. And they know how to do
numbers.
it.
It's all
no, but they know how to
numbers.
manipulate it.
Yeah.
Meaning, they know how to buy records. They know how to do things like that to get your numbers up high. And they did it with fucking Music Soul Child. They'll never sit there and say it, but the facts is the facts. So it's all good.
And this is Lloyd at the height with Lil Wayne and
What? #1 record in the country. #1 record in the country. Hundreds of million in audience. And there's no knock on Music Soul Child. I fuck with Music Soul Child.
Right.
But he was just an R&B record. His audience was a tenth of what Lloyd's records audience was. But he outsells him by a few thousand records. Come on.
Okay, so
And Leo calls Irv before that, saying, you think you're going to get the #1, don't be so sure, big boy.
Yeah.
Like knowing he's manipulating numbers. It's just like fucking elections.
politics.
They could fucking fix numbers in elections too.
We jumping around a bit, but
Yeah.
I want to go back to, was Ja Rule a hothead? And if so, how much do you attribute his hot-headedness to all of the, or some of the bullshit that y'all was going through, bullshit with 50 Cent?
I'm going to say he's not a hothead.
Okay.
I laugh because I know as soon as you say that, I know what moment it really is. Like right away, there's a moment in time that everyone always goes to, and that's that Pac when he was on the radio. You want Pac? I'm going to give you Pac. And he was going crazy on the radio with, I think, Angie Martinez or one of them at the time. But he's not a hothead. I challenge anyone to be in his shoes and not be, or be more considerate or less of a hothead than he was. If you understand. If I switched places with somebody and said, all right, you're Ja Rule for this time, and all of the fucking poking going on, after you're at the top of the fucking world,
you'll lose it.
You might have a breakdown here or there. You might have a moment of unclear response.
It's funny, I wasn't talking about that moment. I was more so talking about the moment when I was in Hit Factory.
Yeah, I understand. That's another moment, but
yeah, and Irv was sort of like, yo, let's leave it alone. Like, let's not go to 50 Cent's room. Let's not go check them niggas. And Ja was like,
Irv was trying to talk him off the fence. Me and Irv came from the office. We just came from a meeting, actually, and we were coming in the Hit Factory. And the whole, Ja got like 30, 40 niggas in the room with him. And we come in, we see someone crying on the floor. It's a girl. She's crying. We're like, fuck is this? Keep walking in. He's in the middle. He's got crutches. He's on his crutches. He just fucked his leg up from this MTV shit he did on the jet skis. And he's sitting there with crutches and he's going crazy with fuck. And he sees me and Irv. Gotti, hey! He's going crazy. And Irv's like, nigga, like chill out. We're gonna be all right. And he's like, fuck that. And he said something. He said, you ain't riding with me? He said, nigga, you ain't riding with me? Irv looked at me, looked at Ja, and he started taking his watch off. Once I see him do that, I know what's going down. We going to get this nigga. We going to find him.
You go in that room.
So again, he wasn't that he was a hothead. There's certain things I can't talk about.
Okay.
That made him that way at that moment. But I challenge someone to be in his shoes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll say this.
There was a change.
I'm going to say this.
They got snatched.
Nah.
Okay.
I'm going to say this. If I chose, I would have Rule with me in any combative fucking situation. No problem. I promise you. That nigga's a beast. So I have no problem with that nigga. Like, so when I say that, of course, that's that in everybody. If you got that in you, there's that point that you got pushed to a limit. And that's one of the moments that he was pushed and it happened. It went down.
When y'all opened that studio and you seen 50 and 50 seen you.
Yeah. He seen Rule first.
He seen Rule.
It was me, Rule, and Irv when we kicked in the door to the studio room. And sure enough, he was there. We kicked in mad doors that day. So don't think we just went to the one.
Right.
No, we ran in mad nigga sessions and niggas was shook. Everybody, they seen it was going down. He wasn't a popping artist yet. He's very small. So he's in a very little room in a a place that I didn't even know existed in the studio. None of us did.
Wow.
And, you know, I think someone came up because they was like, Praz. Yeah, Praz is the one who showed us. You know, he's the one who, we was literally heading back to our studio.
Like, fuck it.
And we run across Praz as we were walking back to our studio because we couldn't find the name. He said, oh, I know where he's at. Come on. You know, God works in mysterious ways, man. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, he asked if niggas gonna ride with him. It's like, of course, it's not a question. So whatever transpired is because we riding with you, nigga. That's it. You know, that day, again, that moment was crazy because I know niggas, you know, everyone wants to tell their stories. You know what I'm saying? I never cared to tell the stories. It's just that everyone always asks, so I gave it to you. I give it to you, but you know, the reality is when we was in the door, he came out the booth. He was in the booth. He got that smile on his face, that smirk smile. You know what I'm saying? And he's in the room with like, I'm gonna say 7, 8 niggas. It's 7 or 8 of them in the room. We got like 40 dudes. This is why God works in mysterious ways. Only 5 of us go in the room. It's me, Ish, my man Ish, Irv, Ja Rule, and then Black Chop came late.
Oh, you came.
He comes late. He was in the back of the 40 niggas, and he's like, why ain't niggas going inside? We tussling already. I'm fighting 2 niggas.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Here's something I never told niggas. 50 was snuffing the shit out of me. I'm looking at him like, I'm gonna kill your ass. This is the truth. I'm fighting a nigga, he snuffed me over the top. Bam. We end up backing him right into the corner of the studio. The board is here and he's in the back in the corner. Irv poked 3 niggas. We paid all the lawsuits. They all got paid. He say whatever he want. Oh, we didn't put an order of protection. Bullshit. Nigga, order of protection was put on me and Irv, not Ja Rule. Couldn't come within 1,000 feet of the nigga.
Shit got real.
It is what it is at the end of the day, but then he retracts it because he's a rapper. He can't have an order of protection on niggas. Not being the biggest, baddest nigga in the game.
And he had it on y'all.
And again,
not
I
Ja
don't
Rule.
know this man. I tell everyone I don't know him. So I can't have a beef with someone I don't know.
Right.
I'm doing it because I'm riding with my nigga.
Right.
So I'm fighting a nigga snuffing me and all of that. That's what's going down. Ish is fighting 2 niggas. Ja, how about this? Ja was on a crutch. He had metal crutches. That nigga put a hole in my back because the metal crutch had broke and it was like a little hook on it. He's swinging it and hit me. And I'm in the middle of fighting the nigga. I take the crutch from him because he put a nigga, I got a hole in my back for real, nigga. From the crutch.
Christ.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just what it was. We was going in there. And then Black came in. The lights went out. More poking. And he always talks like he wasn't, you know, what's crazy is God blessed him to get out of there because it could have really got worse.
Hell yeah.
And I know I seen or heard, I didn't see it, I heard Yayo say, he didn't say, if we had guns or something. The first word out of his mouth was like, pass me my gun. 50.
Said that.
Yeah, I hit him, boom, then they go down and then that's when everything jumps off. You know what I'm saying? Niggas jump up out of their shit and we going. But I'm not gonna let a nigga pull a gun out.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether he had one or not, I don't fucking know. I'm just saying that's what was said. You know, I'm not trying to find out either.
Hell no.
But you know, when the lights went out, niggas got poked up, then everyone was like, the police is on their way. And I go outside, I look like, you ever see, there's a movie, I know you ain't see it, it's an old movie. It's called Carrie. Go look at the cover of Carrie. It's a white woman, she's got blood all over her. That was me. Because while we was in there, he threw a speaker, or the speaker stand, actually. He threw a speaker, boom, I got hit because the lights is out. Then the stand hit me in my head, bust my head. I had to get stitches. But I was leaking. And when I come outside, it's funny, I laugh at all kind of dumb shit. I was like, yo, I'm looking at my brother and our niggas, and they was like, yo, they like looking at me because they see all the blood. Like, you all right? I said, I'm killing this. Yeah.
It's crazy you can laugh about it now, but
I
at that
laugh
time.
about it. You know, I could tell the full story when our engineer, Buck, was our engineer.
Yeah.
I took him from Unique Studios. First time he's engineering for us. First day. I hired him to be personal for Murder Inc. The amount of guns I gave that nigga to hold because I didn't want to bring him into the studio. You understand? This is what I mean. God is, I wouldn't be here. That's a fact. We was just going to beat a nigga up and then, you know what I'm saying? But when you got that many people, a fight could easily turn into something different. But because these niggas didn't come inside, that changed, that made it go away. It did.
Well,
again, and at the end of the day,
history, right? It changes history in hip hop. It changed hip hop history from those people not walking inside of that studio that day.
That's why I said God works in mysterious ways, man. I'm blessed because whatever it is, my guardian angel or whatever you want to call it, they protected these, not from violence, from doing something that would change our life forever.
I heard Irv say one day he doesn't think 50 has a guardian angel. He thinks he's being protected by the devil.
You'd have to ask Irv.
I have no. That was just some funny.
I keep it all the way 100. I ain't got no problem with that nigga. That's on everything. Like that was a moment in time. If he was to walk in, unless he want a problem, then it's a problem.
But they said it was the time y'all was playing basketball.
That's the first day I actually met him. DJ Clue invited me to Chelsea Piers. Clue, you never say nothing about this shit. You a Queens nigga too, homie. You know what I'm saying? First day. I don't know who he looked like. He just made little disc records at the time. I don't fucking know. I'm just playing ball. But I keep hearing someone talking. And I'm like, so I grabbed the ball. Like, my man, do I know you? You got a problem with me? And the nigga has got that smirk again. And I think it was Bangum Smurf when he was with Smurf. Come run over. He said, nah, Fifth, come on. It's all good. It's all good. Chill out, yo. And I was like, oh, this must be that nigga. You know. I'm a confrontational nigga. Like, if that's what it is, let's do it.
50 has a reputation for being, like that.
I've never seen it. No. Have you? No, don't ask me.
I don't know him personally.
No. You said a reputation.
Reputation.
What have you seen? I know he talks his thing and he's very good to me.
This whole.
Again, I know you going in it and I'll give you my opinion of it. Like I said, I have nothing with that man at all. At all. End of the day, he's very witty. You know what I'm saying? Nigga made records.
Yes, he did.
Big records. He seems like he's doing great business. Right? The flip side, what's the negative side? I don't see one nigga with him that he grew up with. See, these things tell a story to a person like me.
Absolutely.
So if a nigga's really watching and paying attention, I don't have to say nothing. Right? When you ask, I'm like, I don't really like talk about a nigga. I'm not no bitch.
For sure.
Like, that's bitch shit talking, that chitter-chatter shit. Like, but a person should be able to analyze the character of a man based on what you see. He's a celebrity. He ain't in the shadows. That nigga's in the front. You know, I'm friends with Floyd.
Managed him.
Mayweather.
You managed him?
No, I didn't manage him. I was with Jay Prince. I worked with him early on. With
Jay Prince. Okay.
Through Jay Prince.
End
of the day, Floyd, be friends with this nigga, which is all good. But look how he treated that man. For what reason would you do that? I don't understand it. None of my business. But that tells me the character of a person. When I see, even when Yayo was talking about, I seen, not Yayo, I seen Jadakiss and Nori talking about how loyal Yayo is. And I'm like, my niggas, y'all didn't see when he was shitting on 50 before? Like, didn't that happen? Am I the only one bugging? And again, and I don't care. It's like, but it's like, it's for whatever reason, it always seems like it doesn't come out real. The truth never comes out right from that side when it comes out, and people believe it. And I'm not trying to fight it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I have no care. I promise you. I only would talk because you were bringing it up. But I have no care about none of that shit. I'm blessed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm up. You know what I'm saying? I got my family, I got my friends, my kids, everything, and that's it. Nigga, money means nothing to me. I'm gonna get money all the time.
Yeah.
It's about really living my life and how I deal with people and treat people. And when I say that, his history shows a different person. So that's my belief.
Yeah.
When I see opposite in someone, it doesn't ring like that's real to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
That's of a high character.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I seen with him? Niggas fear him.
Yeah.
The industry niggas, they fear the nigga. And I'm like, but I ain't never see the nigga do something crazy to somebody.
The industry is also not full of street niggas.
Know? Even when he, slow bucks.
Okay, yeah.
He sent them niggas on slow.
Yeah.
While he on stage. He's that nigga. See, that's the nigga he is. That's that sneaky shit. Now I come in your crib, nigga, tie you up. That's different.
That's very different.
You know what I'm saying? And that's different. Yeah. I'm really from that cloth. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't like to promote that. That's not what I'm doing. And right now, I'm fucking done. I'm 55, nigga. I'm good.
God bless.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
I never thought I'd make 25.
Hell yeah.
That's a fact, a Fendi fact, nigga. I never thought I'd make 25, so it's all blessings for me. And I'm like, everyone I dealt with respect, even on beef, if that makes sense.
Of course.
There's lines and lines of how you handle things. Yeah. So something like when he got Jimmy Henchman's son, you crossing lines that shouldn't be crossed. To me, that's not the way it is, unless if life is lost. And niggas, there'll be other niggas that say, fuck that, beef is beef.
When Henchman's son got slapped, you mean?
Whatever it is, you can't touch families. He has nothing to do with it unless he's active.
Yeah.
If he was active, then it's all fair and game. Can't do that to that man's son. That's not cool.
It's different.
His relationship with his own. These are the stories that get told. I'm not one. It's out there. Just niggas look at it. Don't ask me that shit.
Copy.
I have no problem with him. I swear on my kids. It means nothing. Everything I did was for my brother or Ja Rule. That's it. Simple. You know what I'm saying?
Were you around for Floyd Mayweather's early career, right?
Yeah. When he was Pretty Boy.
Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
Talk to me
Shout out Floyd. What up, nigga?
Talk to me about his work ethic that you was able to notice. And was it of that
he's
different
just different.
Kind of caliber?
Again, he's one of them guys that are different. His work ethic was unmatched. He would go out all night, party, and then go to work out right after the club. But he didn't drink.
Yeah,
see, I watch all these other fighters, they getting drunk and they want to act like they want to be Floyd. You could never be that man if you out doing these things. He lived a different life. That nigga was hard work, dedication. Hard work, dedication. He didn't just say that, he lived it. He lived it. And I give that man so much credit. Cause again, that boxing, I was in boxing, that sport. I managed, fighters and everything, and that's a blood sport. That is, and there's no help. When you're in the ring, your life's on the line, and there's no help.
These guys are warriors.
You gotta do it yourself.
Okay. Talk to me about Supreme McGriff, the legendary.
Kenneth Supreme McGriff.
Kenneth Supreme McGriff.
That's the big homie.
You said to me, before off air when we spoke, I said, did you regret meeting Supreme? For people that don't know, you guys' case.
Our trial, was
your Fed
really
trial
all based around him.
Was all based around the Feds trying to get Supreme and locking him up.
Well, they wanted us to tell on him.
They wanted you to tell.
And they, when you, in hindsight, when you look at what they did, they thought they picked two guys that's running this rap label, generating hundreds of millions of dollars.
Perfect.
Right? And here's a guy named Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the one that got away.
Yep.
Because he got out, he overturned his case, he did 12 years and overturned his case, comes home. 95. And I'm not sure, I'm bad with timelines, with dates and numbers, like dates like that. But he comes home and they was like, all his friends and cohorts is either dead or in jail. He's not getting away. And they come to my crib when we was under all of that shit going through the trial. The Feds would come to my crib and tell me that verbatim, like, he's not getting away. You're going to be right next to him. and all kind of crazy shit. And they was like, he got caught with a gun. How good? What kind of guy is this? He got caught with a gun. I said, do you know niggas tried to kill him 3 times? I said, maybe I would carry a gun too if niggas tried to kill me. Broad daylight, multiple times. You know what I'm saying?
The feds followed you for 3.5 years.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere you went.
Everywhere. It's crazy. I'll sit there and I don't want to act like I did something special. I was ignorant. How about that? First of all, the 3.5 years was while we're under investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could be, like I had to worry about something. I didn't know I had to pay for lawyers. I found out quickly, but like I'm under investigation, I'm not charged with no crime. And I'm not thinking there's anything wrong. I'm just living my life normally. But they was all over me. Like I said, there was a point they would come to my crib every day. 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Open the door. It got to a point I would just let them in and go back to bed. And let them sit in my living room. And I wake up, they still sitting there.
Doing what?
Just waiting for me to. It's all head games. It's like calculated shit. It's business. Like, just think, everything is business. If you could relate to business, you could start understanding. So what's the Fed's business? Aside from locking up, is building cases and things of that nature. How do they approach it? Very strategic.
They're getting under your skin.
Yeah.
They annoying.
You want to make a mistake. Their 98% conviction is because niggas tell on themselves or they cop out.
Why are you still friends with Preem at this point?
Who? Why we?
Yeah. If you see
because that man didn't do nothing but help. Loyalty. Like niggas always thought. They said niggas would say extortion. Okay, I'm still breathing. You can't extort me. It's impossible. That's not an idea. You know, I fuck with Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy Henchman used to press to come talk to Irv. And in the beginning days of my dealing with Jimmy, this is how we actually got cool. I would tell Jimmy, get your gun and let's go in the parking lot and figure it out. I want to talk to Irv. I said, I am Irv. Talk to me. Mm-hmm. Fuck that. You ain't Irv. Nigga, get your gun and let's go in the parking lot and we'll figure it out.
Said it to Jimmy.
I swear on my kids. That's what I was dealing with. It was like that. You're dealing with animals like savages that's volatile. How else can predators only respect predators? Like they only respect the violence or strength, you know? And again, and me and Jimmy got like this.
Wow.
You know? Again, I don't know the extent of what he's dealing with now, but that's none of my business. Mm-hmm. You know? But we got cool because of that. And he seen that I wasn't backing down. Again, because his probably perception was Preem was extorting, so I could lean on niggas. They gonna do what I need.
Yep.
You know, all of them. I dealt with all of them in that fashion.
But Supreme sort of gave you guys that street credibility, would you say?
I can't deny he absolutely helped with street cred, right? That's absolutely yes. But what he did more than, you know, that part, because street cred is what? What is that worth when you leave the city? He had helped us navigate through all of these, what I call vultures, or, you know, these orangutans that's running around in the streets.
Because they don't realize Supreme didn't have money.
There's a reason there's a zoo.
They didn't realize Supreme didn't have money by the time you guys were dealing with him.
Who didn't realize? The feds? That's ignorant to say that. The feds know everything.
So the feds...
The feds know you're doing this podcast right fucking now. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
So they know everything. They know again, my family and the cloth I'm cut from. They knew all of this shit. They just happened to pick us thinking, right? Thinking they're gonna get us to turn on Preem and they got what they need to lock them up. And it was proof in the deals they offered us. We're facing 20 years. The first offer was 1 year. Irv go 1 year, then me. Second offer, 6 months. You go 6 months, then Irv goes. They're breaking, what they was doing was breaking federal guidelines. My lawyer was like, Jerry Shagel was like, they never do this. This is unprecedented in the history of fucking the federal system.
Right.
The last offer, no jail time, just probation, 5 years.
Why didn't you take it?
Because in order to get it, you got to give something up. So I would have to tell on Preem whether it's true or not. They just want a story. You know, they don't care who's on the stand telling. They don't care if it's real or not. Will it stick? Me and Irv telling a story on Preem is going to stick. And I told my lawyer when they came with that offer, my exact words was, tell them motherfuckers set the date. Like, give us a trial date so we get to this shit.
That's not even.
And my lawyer says to me, because the prosecutors are right there, they hear it. I'm speaking to my lawyer, but I know they listening. And I say, tell them fuckers to set the date and stop playing. And they was like, oh, like, you're disrespecting that offer? And Jerry says to me, Chris, give me 1 second. Let me get 5 minutes with my client.
Let me talk him off the ledge.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jerry's a lawyer that will not represent someone that tells. He never did in his history.
He's one of those lawyers. I heard.
He was the real Gotti, John Gotti's attorney. They threw him off John Gotti's cases.
No relation.
No.
Okay.
I'm not Italian. My father's Trinidadian Filipino. My mother's black.
Oh shit.
So
yeah,
he takes me outside. And he explains to me as carefully as he could to tell me he cannot convince 12 people, no matter how innocent we are, of being not guilty in a federal system that is corrupt and not fair. This is a Jewish man, okay, telling me this. And I said, Jerry, if it means me sitting in jail to fight from the inside out to get back out, and that's what God has for me, then I'm with it. Damn. And I said, then that is. And Irv was like, let's do it.
This is so unheard of this day and age.
Yeah.
This day and age, there is not a label people that
I don't even compare to nobody. I don't want to. I don't look at. I just, you know, people do what they do.
Yeah.
For whatever their reasons are.
Right.
And I'm not gonna sit and hold judgment on them. I just really I leave it alone. And I'm a very spiritual dude, man.
Respect that.
Like when I say my guardian angel, someone was watching over because you know what's that expression? God protect children and fools.
Yeah, fools and babies.
Yeah, well, I'm not a baby. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a kid, so it's like he was really protecting me. Someone up there was protecting me.
You beat the feds.
Yeah.
But do you really beat the feds?
Of course. In what sense? What didn't? In which way we didn't? We're here.
I say that because what did you leave with?
No, they took everything.
I'm sure people turned their back on you.
Everything.
I'm sure people said, oh, we ain't fucking with them no more. You spent $10 million in lawyer fees and all of this stuff.
14
million.
Yeah, over 14. It was like crazy, man. Stupid.
You paying everybody's lawyer fees. Everybody on your team.
I ran out of money. I'm transparent. Niggas ask me, I tell the truth. I ran out of fucking money. Irv made a lot more money than I made.
Yeah.
He helped me and got me through it. It's no problem. But nigga, again, you see, look.
Did you really beat the feds?
Again, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. Guess what? I'm gonna get it back and more.
Say that.
It's happened already. It's gonna happen again. Mm-hmm. You know, we sold our matches 300. That's no bullshit. Mm-hmm. That's 1,000%. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's one. But we coming for more. It's not over. It's not over. And that's the key. It's like, it's not over. It's like, so, you know, if I studied like Steve Jobs and shit like that. And he wrote a letter when he was on his deathbed, and it puts life in perspective about money. Here's one of the richest niggas in the game. He's like, I can't save me now.
Ooh.
It's over.
Wow. Yeah.
He's writing this.
Yep. All of the money in the world can't bring my health.
I'll give it all away if I could get it.
My health.
What else would you give it for? Your freedom.
I like that. I like that.
So it's like shit. At the end of the day, when you say, what did you really win? First of all, I won multiple things. They took the money. Mm-hmm. But what did Bob Marley say? If that's all you got, are you rich? You ain't rich. What's rich?
He said that's, you know what I'm saying? That's richness.
That's richness.
What do it mean to you? What richness mean to you?
Know?
My richness is life.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
No.
If you only have money, that's not like money. We could get it. Yeah. It's attainable. Today, it's attainable for everybody.
Some people are so poor, all they have is money.
That's all they have. That's another one. But it's real. It's like, it's so real. And when you live something, you understand it. If you never get to live something, you don't get it yet. Because you really put so much value on that dollar. And the dollar is evil, man. When you get down to it, the dollar is vicious. Niggas die in the hood every day over that dollar. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it, if you want to talk money, let's put it in perspective. I like to put life in perspective. So freedom, you mentioned it, I said, they took money, they took our company. So think they took a 9-figure business from our family. That's what they did. That's how I look at it.
Credibility.
But what do we have? Credibility. Our word is everything. Integrity. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that deals with me knows who I am now. I tell all these executives, most of these white executives we deal with, been through some type of federal charge from the SEC, you know, white collar crime shit. They all cop out. They all tell.
Of course. First thing they do.
So when they look at me, I sit back. It's a badge of honor, not shame. And I say, I know who I am. You know who I am. I don't know who you are. So don't ever question me when I talk my shit, because my shit's right here.
It's right there.
It's official.
You can see it.
Yeah. And that to me holds a lot of weight.
It does.
And executives that been through things really, really value when I say that, because they understand it.
What's something that you would tell your younger self?
Something I would tell who?
Your younger self.
Ooh, man. So many things. Like if you go back to change, you know, for me, I tell you, I'm a gambler.
Oh, okay.
Big gambler. I don't have vices. I don't smoke, drink. If I drink, it's social. Never smoke, no drugs and none of that shit. So I'm all natural. The vice I have is gambling. We all have some type of vice, right?
Of course, everybody.
My vice gambling. I wouldn't be as big as a gambler as I. If I could tell my younger self, I would stay away from it.
What would your younger self say back to you?
Fuck no. Nigga, we gonna come up.
So when we see people like Kanye West get hit with the anti-Semitic, and you know, because he called out all the Jewish execs and the Jewish people that, you know, essentially run the industry. You firsthand could say how you have seen maybe some of this stuff transpire, especially if it was like a Leo Cohen of the world. And
see, Kanye is Kanye.
Yes, sir.
I love Kanye. Let me say that right clear. No hesitation. I love Kanye. I know that man. He's a genius. He's one of the leaders in this culture, for sure. And again, you have to understand what he's saying in all of the, let's say, the boundaries that's been placed in business, in all of these different areas, in, let's say, in fashion, in music, and the stronghold. Again, it's not like he's lying that these Jewish men, you know, they have a stronghold on these industries. So, again, I don't want to act like he's saying, like I'm not versed enough to talk on all his comments he made and what he said exactly. That's not my point. I have tons of different Jewish mentors. I just came from Poland to experience the Holocaust in Poland. We did a walk, the whole thing. Meek Mills was out there. Like Diddy was supposed to come. There was other artists that were supposed to come. They didn't come. And it's really to help bridge the gap with this anti-Semitism, with hip hop or with our culture. And I had to sit down with the foundation in order to get to go out there, because they didn't know who I was, right? I'm a protector of this culture, period, of hip hop culture, black people. I'm always going to represent us to the highest level. And that's the bottom line. So one of the things I had said to them when you bring this up, I said, really, the reason they could even spill the anti-Semitism stuff on certain things, again, that from what I understand, not all the things that I don't know all the rants that he might have said. So I'm not talking personally on Kanye in this situation. But with that said, like all of these different things, they don't understand us. You know, there's a record, I forget which one right now, man. And it says we stack chip like Hebrews. I think it's the Locks, right? And they, you know, you can't find that no more. They blurted that out. And I'm sitting there saying, see, it's like if you're a Jewish person, we're only bigging you up in that. But maybe they don't understand that. We're not talking anything negative about you. And I think that's the difference. And I'm a big believer for us in our black culture. We could sit and say nigga all day to each other. And then we can't say nothing else, right? It's like, meaning like any slurs. But they get away with things that we can't. And I'm like, that's the communication that's not there. We need to communicate so it's fully understood. When I was in Poland, I meet this director. Man, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, man. I'm sorry right now, but he's a big director. He's done big movies and everything. And we're sitting, he's young, but he's of the culture. See, if I had the money, right, I would create a foundation. I'm going to do it. It's just time. And I'm going to raise, the money I'm going to take is I'm going to take all these inner city kids from the hoods in New York and all over the country and travel overseas. Because we don't understand their culture just like they don't understand ours.
We never leave the block.
And to me, that's the biggest problem of why you hear, let's say, all these hate for Jews or the Asians. And I'm like, nah, the amount of things that you're talking about is so small. It's so small. I always deal in business, the large side of numbers. The majority of the things that we're talking about, there is no hate. Hip hop is the reason for that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want to go into that one because hip hop, we're in every country. So no matter what nationality you are, you're fucking with my culture. No matter what language you're speaking, you're fucking with my culture. And guess what hip hop did? We embrace it. Just think MTV, right? Hottest artist in America today, Bad Bunny. MTV stamps him. That's huge. This is a Latino in America, a non-Spanish speaking country, and he's number one. And guess what we do? Hip hop, as a culture, we embrace it. See, hip hop embraced everything, white, black, Chinese, it doesn't fucking matter. So when they talk to us and say we're anti-something, I fight back because Kanye can't be because he's from hip hop. He's just stating things that he sees that is affecting his business and his personal, and he's saying that the Jews control this, and technically they do. And I don't know why they act like they don't or don't want to act like they do. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. But the communication lines is blurred. And I don't, those are deep conversations that has to be had. And I would love to be one of the people to talk with. In my family, I got a Jewish brother-in-law.
Okay.
My sister married a guy named David Rabin. I understand. Yeah. You understand? I understand their culture. And he's, again, a great guy. It's just, we're human beings, man.
That's at the end of the day, that's the truth.
We're human beings. And it's, again, culturally, they don't act like we do. But that's fine. Because, it is what it is.
I got to ask you, and thank you for sharing that, because I think that's a side that no one speaks on, right? It's always the miscommunication that we hear. We never really hear the communication.
Of course.
So the fact that you effectively communicated that is very important. But what I wanted to say was, if you never had met Supreme McGriff.
What about it? If I never had met.
The day he wanted to come over and shoot.
First day he met my brother, he asked him, can he shoot a movie?
The movie script, right? Yeah. Let's say Irv just said fuck off and y'all never spoke to him again. Where would you be right now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a great question, but How can I answer that?
Can't.
It's like, I don't know what would have happened.
I guess
tell
asked
you,
that.
I know what he added, the value he added, which again, people, he had relationships that help us navigate through a lot of problems.
Right.
So who knows where those problems could have escalated to, right?
Well, I asked
without
that.
his assistance.
I asked that because I wanted to know if there was any regret. I wanted to know if you regretted maybe nurturing a relationship with
I'm gonna
somebody.
give you that answer. That's an easy answer for me. There is no regret, and here's the reason why. I always did what's right. So the minute I have a regret, that means I had to do something different, which would have been wrong, in order to have a different result. So I did what was right. Me fucking with Preem was right. It was nothing wrong. It was all based on good shit. It wasn't based on no fuckery. So at the end of the day, how do you take away that? If there's, you know what I mean? You can't, without changing to something that's negative. If everything was positive, and everything was positive, it just didn't come out with a positive result, right? From the trial to him being incarcerated, you know, those things led to negativity. But really, you asked me about karma. Maybe that's his karma too, right? And I can't. Karma's gonna get that debt's gonna get paid regardless. Someone's got to pay that debt. So maybe that's part of his karma. I don't know. You know, he has a history. I wouldn't sit here and act like he doesn't. He does. The reality is, when I met him, when my brother met him, he wasn't that person no more.
What has traumatized you the most in your 55 years of living?
My mind is stupid. Don't mind me. I was just thinking of something, but I would never say it on air. But I'll tell you afterwards. Yeah. But what traumatized me the most? Shit. In music or in life?
Life.
Me losing my pops. That's the most, that was the hardest thing I had to deal with. You know, I think about him. I talk to him every day. Every day. You know, it's funny, he died during COVID. And he passed during COVID, and it was just crazy because I was in Vegas and I spoke to him the morning of, and he told me he was tired. I said, well, don't get too tired. I'm coming back. I want to see you before, you know what I'm saying? I want to see you. And he was dealing with cancer. And by the time I got to the airport, because I set the flight and I'm rushing to the airport, I get the call from my sister, he passed. And that's like my hardest. That was that trauma of not getting to say goodbye. You know, he was dealing with a lot for like 3 years, dealing with cancer and, you know, just the chemo and all of those things, the radiation. I mean, strongest man I know was my pops. And he was a shell of himself. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you watch that. I physically got to have to deal and watch with it. Before I went to Vegas, I was picking him up, helping him walk, wiping his ass, the whole thing. Like every part of it. Like he had to have a diaper now, and I'm changing his diaper. He got 8 kids, but he didn't want me to do it. He wanted my mother to do it. Mm-hmm. And he was like, no. I was like, nigga, she can't. She's too weak. Mm-hmm. She's older than you. Like, fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But that was probably the most, for me, the feds and everything, I took it with grace. I promise you. I was out every night. And I'm not trying to act like I wasn't paying attention, but I couldn't sit home in a fucking room thinking about it. I went crazy. So I never let it get to me in a sense, and I just knew God had something planned for me different than sitting in jail over something I didn't do. How about that?
That's the crazy part.
How about that? Hold on, it's even deeper. We was charged with 2 charges. It was over 20 charges. At first, my lawyers got rid of all the other charges. It was down to 2. Money laundering and conspiracy to money laundering. But how can I money launder money that's not mine? No one ever asked that question. everything I did was for my brother. So when people say, that expression, am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. I did everything for. I'm facing 20 years of my life for all his decisions, all his money,
I can't let you go.
and I don't have a problem with that. That's not a regret.
No.
The regret was I didn't get to see my pops that last time before and just say bye.
Yeah.
And we was ready. I understood. Like we had those
You
conversations.
you still not prepared for it.
It's not. It's different. It was prepared. I just wanted to talk to him for that last time. I knew it was. We all know we're gonna pass.
Yeah.
I'm not young where I'm not realizing life.
Yeah.
He's dealing with. He's fighting it. And when he called to tell me,
Tired.
I'm tired. I know what that means. I'm rushing to get home to just say bye.
It's too late.
Yeah, and I didn't get there. And that's like, it's not a regret, but it's something that I feel. Yeah.
2019, I lost my dad.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you lost your dad 2020, so it was like next
How
year.
old? See, my dad was 86.
Oh, yeah, my dad was 65. So he was young. He's smoking.
So, peep, I lose my pops. I get home. I get to New York. And, I go see my mom's. And she grabbed me, and she crying, and she say, I'm going with her. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, she gonna kill herself. They had a pact. You go, I go. To this day, we got a watch to make sure she ain't doing nothing crazy. Cause she told me, she's like, I feel wrong that I'm still here. I'm not supposed to be here. We had a deal.
No.
When she got sick one time, she had to get a gallbladder taken out. He told me and her, he pulled me and her aside. He said, if she don't get out of here, she said, if in that casket, put me right in on top. And they had a deal, man. It's crazy. This shit is deep.
Yo.
You ain't gonna get me, Roy.
You sure? Yo. Hey, man, I gotta ask you about Irv and Ashanti. They're like the most viral. That stuff is like the most viral thing right now. Some good water, huh?
High quality H2O.
Yo, what?
Go ahead. What do you want to ask?
They had this. I guess he has this.
What's
real,
the question you have?
This real love that he has for her. Or
I want to challenge you. I'm gonna ask you questions in return. But go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. So this real love that Irv had for Ashanti, do you think he ever got over it?
Obviously, it's deep rooted.
Yeah.
Matters of the heart is matters of the heart. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you could do about that.
You were around for this time, period.
I'm their therapist. Let that sink in. Both. We going to Ashanti's hotel, Irv's hotel. What he say, what she say, what he say, what she say. I was in the middle. I tell Ashanti to this day she owes me money for all this times on my couch for going through her, her psychiatrist. How does they shrink? And she had all these questions, and Ashanti's that's my girl. Like I fuck with Ashanti. Irv has a relationship, so there's a difference in one of the questions. When I said I'm gonna ask you a question, where's your ex? You have an ex?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You fucking cool with him?
No.
Okay. What's the difference? It's just they fucking made hit records and they was in the eye of the public. And Irv, as a man, to me, he did something that most men don't do. He speaks about it. The last rant he had on Drink Champs, and I told, again, if you listen to it and everyone went crazy about it, I said, he didn't say nothing wrong. He mentioned bitch. We talk like that, this hip hop. But he doesn't mean bitch like that. Yeah. I promise you that's not what he did it. But he said bitch and Ja checked him and he fixed it or whatever. But the reality is, he poured his heart out. Whether you want to accept it or not, he's hurt over her in his opinion, true or not true, her lack of loyalty to him for what he did for her. You know what I'm saying? His justifying what he did for her and his love for her, and he feels it wasn't handled properly on her end.
You agree?
I can't figure it out. I understand it. I understand what he hates is I understand her. Right? And that's the facts. But I'm in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the middle and it's crazy. I just, like I said, Ashanti's Ashanti always for me. Like, that's my girl. She's, you know, I used to go pick her up, give her the music, tell her Irv heard her records and he never heard a fucking record. Like, you know, maybe it never happens if I don't do that shit. I put her on Big Pun record with Fat Joe, needed someone on it. I grabbed her and put it on. And then I asked Fat Joe to call Irv and say, our R&B artist is fired. Irv said, what R&B artist? What are you talking about? Ashanti. And then after Joe did that, Irv was like, bring her in, let me hear her. But I was bringing her up there, they would sit on the couch and, you know what I'm saying? And her mother, Linda, which is her co-manager at the time, and her just sit on the couch and be like, did he hear my records? And Irv's in the other room. Oh yeah, he heard it. He liked them. Did he like them? Oh yeah, he liked them. You know, we gotta just keep making more. We gonna get there. He's busy with job, this and that. And she's just sitting there like a kid on Christmas waiting for to see her gifts or something. You know what I mean?
And she ends up breaking his heart.
Did she break Irv's heart? I feel he, you know, again, I would say this. Irv really loved Ashanti. Whether she believes it or not. This is my little brother confiding to me. And he says it, but people don't be acting like they hear him. He really loved Ashanti, yo. But here's the problem, what I told him. I said, but you got caught multiple times with bitches fucking how much, you know what I'm saying? See, when
That'll do it.
So, but when he made her into a star, she becomes this star. You know, he guided her career to make her a star. Because all those records she hated. How about that? So imagine if we didn't fucking put them records out, maybe she never becomes Ashanti. So, and he would be like, fuck that. Irv's aggressive. He's not playing. And to her credit, she listened. She allowed it. She didn't fight it. And it worked. And you asked me, did he love her? He loved her. He loved her, and he also loved what he created. Because that's not the same girl from 28 Burn Street that's not the same person. He loved what he created. Irv, okay, I'll give another nickname. That's Dr. Frankenstein. He makes monsters. That's what he makes. That nigga's a beast.
He is.
He makes monsters, man.
Before you get out of here, what was one record that you heard in the studio before it came out?
So many.
And you knew this was the one.
So many.
And it ended up going crazy. And what's
So
one
many,
record
man.
that you heard that you didn't like and it ended up going crazy?
I don't have that story.
Okay.
I have the records, man, so many. And it was like all of them was like they was made already.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Of course.
Like, it was like the words just automatically filled in naturally, like
what the
to the beat, and it just fit. And it's like, what the fuck? And again, it's both John and Ashanti's story. One of my favorite Ashanti records, all-time favorite, created the way it was created, is Baby, Baby, Baby. And if I had the video footage to show the world, they would understand Irv's genius. Because he made her sing off key, out of key, and with a certain feeling to make that record. And she hated it. And it was baby, baby. And he was like, you know, that's from Scarface. Mary, 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 Mary. And it's about, you know, getting high. He's like, you never got high. That's why you don't know how you're supposed to feel, how you're supposed to sound. And he's like, you talking about a man that you love, that you're drugged out on him.
You're talking about me. Nah, just
Hey, wait a minute.
Yo, this is crazy.
But you understand?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Yeah. Roy, you ain't gonna make me cry, Roy.
Yo, this is Trappin Anonymous. My name is Chris Styles. Let's get it.
Man.
He can't tell me shit about you, man. Thank you, brother.
But I promise you, we had the video footage. He went in the booth and sang it for her.
Like, do it like this.
And he's singing it like he's drugged out on this
Mary
on
Jane.
this dude, like he's in love. Like, you gotta sing it like that. And she said, but I'm out of key. I don't give a fuck.
Keep going.
That it was, only
Big
other
ass
person
record.
in the room besides me was Buck, the engineer. He could tell you.
God damn.
But if we had that footage, oh my God.
That's legendary shit,
That would
man.
be fucking legendary.
That's legendary.
Another
shit.
record that was crazy. There's a bunch on Jai's side. Jai's a monster. Like I said, people don't. The words was just.